Well, my producer's on for some reason. There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexandra Levine. This is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. You are right with me. You are all in tonight with me, Alexandra Levine. Breaking news tonight. We have major breaking news. Our hearts go out to the many people that have been totally derailed and totally probably don't know what's going to happen to them in the next 24 to 48 hours. Hurricane Melissa hit the whole entire island of Jamaica today at 1 p.m. Eastern. It was a Category 5, 185 mile per hour winds and rain, to the point where there's major power outages in hospitals and major power outages throughout the entire island. There's people that went on vacation there are now currently stuck, don't know when they're going to get out. And I know that President Trump has been briefed on this. This is just nature. You know, it's nature at its finest and at its worst for some people. As a Floridian, I know hurricanes very well. There was 2 hurricanes that came into Sarasota County, which is where I'm from, that demolished my parents' house, my sister's house, and so forth. And they're still recovering from it. And that was just a year ago. So our hearts again go out to the people of Jamaica. And if anybody is doing anything to bring relief to the people of Jamaica, once things get cleared up, America's Pulse Network will keep you in check and keep you abreast of that. Also in breaking news, President Trump, he was in Malaysia and Japan on a historic trip. When he entered Malaysia, he did a huge signing, an agreement to combat and make sure that there is no war between Cambodia and Thailand. And this was the beautiful introduction that the president got when he entered Malaysia. Let's play the video. And as you can see there, he's doing his famous YMCA dance to the people of Malaysia. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Let's put up the first slide, how viral that video went. And Alex Bresky said this video that at Margot Martin personally works for the president. She's always taking videos of what goes on every time the president travels or anytime he's in the Oval Office. So Margot Martin, good person, captured President Trump dancing in Malaysia, just surpassed 1 million likes on our @TeamTrump Instagram and has a whopping 21.5 million views. It also has 17.7 million views on Facebook and 9.3 million views on TikTok. Trump is the leader of the world and the king of social media. And then, of course, after he did his bidding or his sign deal in Malaysia, he went to Japan and he met the new Prime Minister of Japan. As you know, he was very close to Abe, who was murdered. This is a new woman prime minister who loves Trump. She's very Trump first. I mean, she loves America. And Japan and America have had a great relationship because of President Trump. And she just spoke the world of him. And they did a massive agreement signing when he was there in Japan. And she spoke the world of him. And these are historic places that president is going to and historic leaders that he is meeting. As you know, President Trump has a wonderful international presence. Every time he goes internationally, the other countries, they love us. America is respected again. That's what's so important here, guys, that America is respected again. It's because we have a real president in the White House and someone that actually cares about we the people. And today, historic, it was the 13th vote to reopen the government. And what happened? The government today has not been reopened. Senate Democrats, and there's Chuck Schumer, who's the Senate Minority Leader, he blocked the bill to reopen the government for the 13th time. And you know why? Because all Democrats want to do is give illegals health care. And President Trump said, and so did Speaker Mike Johnson, I am not bending to giving illegals health care. It's illegal. As I've said many times, I'm a healthcare agent. I would never, ever sell healthcare to illegals. That's, first of all, it's illegal. I could lose my license. Why are the Democrats so obsessed with giving illegals healthcare? We have problems giving Americans healthcare right now. Right now, we are in something called open enrollment, which is the best time of year for legal citizens, American citizens, to get healthcare. I'm working heavily on open enrollment right now as we speak. And people call me all the time. They're like, Am I first in line? Am I last in line to get health care? And I said, well, you're calling at the right time. But they're doing this because it's open enrollment. They're doing this because they want to hurt the American worker and kowtow to illegals because they need the illegals to vote for them. And let's see where this is happening. It's liberal states, it's liberal counties, it's liberal cities that don't require photo ID to vote, that love the mail-in ballot situation, that love the Dominion Smartmatic electronic voting, that push for ranked choice voting, that push for illegal things that hurt our elections. Chuck Schumer doesn't believe in free and fair elections. Neither does Hakeem Jeffries. Neither does the state of Maryland. Neither does the state of New Jersey with the Board of Elections over there. But that's why it's so important, guys. It's so important who we have in power. And it's so important to note that it is the Democrats that are doing this. The Democrats are keeping the government shut down, not the Republicans. But what is Chuck Schumer doing? He's now blaming the Republicans for the government being shut down. As you know, we have something called the SNAP program. The SNAP program is for low-income people that can't afford food. They can't afford to go out and buy their own groceries, so they use EPT, which is a food stamp. And because of the Democrats, the SNAP program will be cut starting November 1st until the government reopens. It's a government-funded program. It's a government entity. That means that the government's controlling how much money you get for your food stamps, how much food you get. It's EPT. Like I said, it is a food stamp. That's what SNAP is. It's a food stamp. But it's like robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. But, I mean, the Democrats aren't really helping their situation here. They're pushing their constituents who vote for them anyway to blame the Republicans for them not getting their government, not subsidies, their government funded food stamps. It's not the Republicans' fault. And let me tell you something. I have friends that work in the government right now. They're cool. They're cool that it's shut down. It's a vacation for them. They're using all their sick days, all their vacation days to go on vacation now. I have friends that are overseas right now. They took off a 3-week leave vacation anyway, so they don't care. They're like, keep it shut. So people that aren't really, quote, starving, as what the mainstream media will say. But the Democrats think that if the government continues to get shut down, that people will be pissed off at Donald Trump and start blaming Donald Trump. That's Chuck Schumer's sick mind and sick thinking. But I want these people that are losing their SNAP benefits, these government workers that haven't gotten a paycheck, that are literally working for free, including the military, TSA, and so forth, and air traffic controllers. I want them to see who the real problem is. I want them to know who the real idiot is. And it's not Donald Trump, it's Chuck Schumer. It's the Democrats. It's the people that represent you in your districts. It's the AOCs and the Bernie Sanders of the world that scream out no kings and tax the rich. It's not the rich that's doing this, guys. And when you think about it, Chuck Schumer's a pretty wealthy dude. AOC has more money now than she's ever had in her life. Bernie Sanders, same thing too. These senators make a lot more money than the regular average American. These senators have become multimillionaires in just maybe 4 years that they've been in Congress. And you have to ask yourself why. So when they say tax the rich, well, I guess it means we got to tax them too. We got to tax Kathy Hochul. We got to tax Senator Warren. We got to tax Bernie Sanders. We got to tax AOC. They complain about the billionaires. There's not that many billionaires in this country. And the ones that are billionaires work their butt off to become billionaires. They didn't have the money handed to them. And if they did, they had to take that money and make something of it. You have to have a good business sense to keep your billions, because money comes and money goes. And also, it's the circles that you surround yourself with. If you want to be a billionaire, you surround yourself by billionaires. If you don't want to be a billionaire, then you don't surround yourself by billionaires. But don't blame somebody for being successful. Don't blame somebody for being a billionaire. It's a jealousy thing at this point. You should say, wow, that guy came from nothing and made something of himself. Wow, that guy took $1 million and made it into 10 billion. He's a genius. But no, not these Democrats. These Democrats will rob from the rich and give to the poor. And they give to people that have overstepped their boundaries, people that have overused their visas, people that have overused their SNAP benefits and don't need them anymore, people that have abused their disability benefits. That's the type of people that they support. And illegals, illegal criminals, people that have come in and out of this country illegally, people that have lived in this country for 25 years with no ambition or drive to get their citizenship because they've been living off this system for 25 years and they don't care. And they go into grocery stores and they beg for money, or you see them outside a Home Depot. No more free handouts, guys. But again, it's the Democrats that are doing this. Mark my words. The Democrats will pay for this. That's why elections have consequences, but that's why we have elections coming up in November 4th of this year and next year to redraw the map, to put more conservatives in power and more common sense Republicans in power. Speaking about building and reshaping, let's put up this slide, a real Donald Trump. Other breaking news. Remember the new Trump Kennedy Center, he calls it. The Kennedy Center. Columns beautifully painted in a luxuriant white enamel color, replacing the fake-looking gold paint that was there for years. Many major improvements are being made, including seating, carpeting, wall covering, ceiling, chandelier, stages, heating, and AC, etc., to what will soon be the finest arts and entertainment center anywhere in the world. Come see for yourself. We are remaining fully open during construction, renovation, beautification. I'm doing the same thing to the United States of America, but only on a, quote, slightly larger scale. And like I said, I will be singing at the Kennedy Center. I will be looking forward to singing there when it is renovated and done, because I want to be the first person that sings there when the Kennedy Center is reopened and redone and rebuilt. Let me tell you something, as an opera singer, and you're singing in mold and mildew, and the building is rickety, it messes up your voice. It messes up a lot of things. As a singer, you have to be in a clean environment. You have to have an air purifier, a dehumidifier. Everything has to be clear, because when you're singing, you don't want to have a what is it? Not a cough ball. Oh my God, my brain went out the window. You don't want a hairball. Thank you. It came to my brain. You don't want to have a hairball in your throat while you're singing. You don't want to be coughing while you're singing. And I have a lot of allergies, and I can tell you I've sung in some pretty dusty areas, especially in old opera houses in Europe, and it's not fun. So I'm looking forward to singing that brand new Kennedy Center, that brand new opera house, and standing on that beautiful brand new stage and singing to my heart's content. And that's what's going to happen, because it's time that we make the arts great again. And President Trump is the only guy that could do this. I got back into singing because of President Trump in his first term. And then now I'm singing more now than I ever have been. Baruch Hashem. Thank you, President Trump. But it's called Out with the Old, In with the New. I'm very excited about the new ballroom that's going to be opening up. And all these friggin' Democrats that are bitching about the new ballroom, they're going to be front row seats when the new ballroom is finished. So they're just kidding you. They know the Democrats have renovated the White House for years. They're just attacking Trump because it's Trump. They know Trump's a builder. They just think that President Trump is distracting the country from BS and that, he's ruining history. Oh, please. It's all propaganda. It's all BS. It's all mainstream media BS. They can't even say something nice about the man. I mean, when Hillary Clinton and her ugly daughter, they criticized President Trump demolishing the East Wing. President Trump literally resanitized and got new carpets and a new desk because Bill Clinton did some stuff underneath the desk with a whore named Monica Lewinsky. So, let's get things straight. That White House needs to be renovated from all the disgusting things that were in there, including the cocaine that they found in the White House, which they proved it was Kamala Harris's. But nobody wants to say anything. Let Trump have his new ballroom. Again, he's putting out his own money. Yep, that's right. The president's personally paying for their improvement. That's right, Donald. That is correct. He's personally putting it out. And That's what the American people need to understand. And also Timothy Mellon, who's a billionaire, he put out 150 billion of his own money, or sorry, not billion, 150 million of his own money to do this. I mean, this new renovation of the Eastern Wing is going to cost $350 million. President Trump put 200 of his own money, and then Timothy Mellon put in the rest. These men have money; they can do it. I applaud them for it. Now let's go into segment one. So segment one, and I don't have that much time to talk about segment one, but I'll carry this over into segment two a little bit in segment three. Let's put up the first image. Actually, no, let's put.
We'll make our city one where every person who calls it home can live a dignified life. No New Yorker should ever be priced out of anything they need to survive. And we believe then, we believe today, we will believe tomorrow that it is government's job to deliver that dignity. Dignity, my friends, is another way of saying freedom.
So this moron said it's government's job to bring in freedom. It's the government's job. He clearly stated that he wants the government to control your life, the government to control if you're happy, the government to control everything. This is Zohran Mandami, who's running for the New York City mayor position. He's a nobody. He's a nothing. He's an anti-Semite. He's from Uganda. He wasn't even born here. Everybody's questioning if he is a naturalized citizen, if he did it the right way, which I wholeheartedly believe he didn't do. And he wants to come in and he calls himself a Democrat socialist, which he really is a communist, as President Trump calls him, because he believes that the government controls your life and that everything should be free, free, free. Well, it's not free, because who do you think is paying for it? We, the taxpayers. Let's put up the first image. So the first image is a Fox News digital investigative report traces a network of activist donors and organizations that helped propel New York Assembly Zohran Mandami's political career. Let's go to the next slide. This anti-Semitic piece of shit, I'm going to call her that because that's what she is. She scowled and just yelled and screamed at the Supreme Court when Brett Kavanaugh was being confirmed. She is a loudmouth piece of shit that hates Jews. She stands with Bernie Sanders. She believes in Sharia law. I don't know how the hell she is still allowed to walk into the halls of Congress and the Supreme Court when she's a danger to our nation. The fact that she's even allowed to enter America and do what she does is disgusting to me. She hates Jews. She hates Christians. She believes in BDS. She believes in Sharia law, as I said earlier. And when I see her face, I just want to throw up. So she's 34. So Mandami, who's a 34-year-old Pishika, New York politician, was repelled by a network of organizations like Empower Change and Exchange Action, led by this anti-Semite Linda Sarsour, who Laura Loomer's called out multiple times. Linda Sarsour also stands with AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar, and funded by Soros-backed philanthropists. Of course, Linda Sarsour is definitely in bed with George Soros. That's been proven many times. Next image. And this other piece of shit, exclusive, philanthropers associated with Soros have given Empower and Engage, that's who works with Linda Sarsour, nearly $2.5 million in recent years, helping to boost Mandami's candidacy and his growing influence. So I just proved to you, and Fox News did too, that George Soros, his philanthropist with Linda Sarsour, their organization, Empower and Engage, gave this guy millions of dollars, Mandami. And that's how he won the Democrat primary, and that's how possibly he will win the general. Let's go to the next slide. And then this is even worse. Mandami's rise isn't just about grassroots support. He's been closely tied to imams with controversial past. Imam Zaraj Mahaj, that's the guy in the white shmata, the white thing with the white shmata coat. Shmata in Yiddish means like a mess, like it's like ripped, it's torn, it's a shmata, it's like a rag. Iman Sarach Wahaj once testified for the blind sheik convicted in terror plots. That guy on the right side, to our right, was actually involved with the 9/11 terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center. That is who Mondami hangs out with. He hangs out with terrorists. He's supported by Louis Farrakhan, who's a known anti-Semite, Keith Ellison, who is a part of the Nation of Islam that works with Louis Farrakhan. Mondami is surrounded by anti-Semites. And he also admitted that he wants to turn New York into an Islamic nation. He is a jihadist. He is an Islamic extremist. He doesn't care about the people of New York City. What he cares about is pushing jihad and Islamic extremism into New York City. Let's put up the last slide. This one's very important. So my friend David Harris Jr., he exposed him and said, it has been revealed that the aunt Zohran Mondami shed fake tears over, claiming she stopped riding the subway after 9/11 because she didn't feel safe wearing her hijab. Neither wore a hijab, nor lived in New York City at the time. She lived in Tanzania. And it's so funny because Mondami was at another press conference and they asked him about his aunt. And he said, my aunt. And then he said, oh, it was my cousin. My cousin was the one that was wearing the hijab and didn't feel safe on the subway. So he lies all the time. He says nice things. He says everything's free bus ride, free healthcare, free this, free that. And I hate to say, ignorant voter is looking at this. What I fail to understand and what bothers me, and I'm talking to my people of faith, there's millions of Jews that live in New York City, particularly Manhattan. You know this guy's an anti-Semite. You know that he doesn't give a crap about you. The fact that any Jewish person would vote for him in the general is asinine to me. There has been a letter written by 1,000 rabbis stating that this man does not support the Jewish people and that he will go against the Jewish people if he becomes the mayor. There's also something that came out recently that a lot of Jewish investors are nervous with him because they invest in New York City. They've invested millions of dollars into New York City. And if this guy becomes the mayor, guess what? He's going to make sure that these Jewish investors don't invest in New York City anymore. He's going to put Islamic extremists ahead of the Jews. And these Islamic extremists, these Islamic terrorists have billions of dollars. They're wealthy ass people. George Soros is a billionaire. So when you combine George Soros, Linda Sarsour, and these Islamic terrorist regime people that have billions of dollars, that destroys the city, that destroys the Jewish faith in the city, that destroys the Christian faith in the city. So we're into early voting right now in New York City. I beg and plead with my Jewish brothers and sisters to not vote for him, to stop voting Democrat. I know you're like, well, I'm a Democrat. I can't vote for Curtis Sliva. Curtis Sliva has supported Israel and the Jewish people since before he started the Guardian Angels. He has put his own people on the ground to protect the Jewish people in New York City and beyond. He goes above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to the Jewish people. And he cares about New York City, and he is New York City. And he's been backed and endorsed by Rudy Giuliani and his son and many other good people. Now people are saying that the shift should go to Andrew Cuomo. That they're saying that Andrew Cuomo is 10 points below Mondami right now, and that Cuomo is picking up momentum. They're also saying that Curtis Sliva should back away, but he can. His name is already on the ballot. But you have to decide who's really going to protect the people of New York. We saw what Andrew Cuomo did when he was governor. He killed a lot of people during COVID. He's got a lot of baggage. He doesn't support Donald Trump. He says, I'm a Democrat. Even though I'm registered as an independent, I am still a Democrat. I'm not as radical as Mondami, but will always be a Democrat. My brother's a Democrat. My father's a Democrat. So a vote for him is voting for a Democrat, basically. If you don't vote Republican in these liberal cities, then you don't get change. Remember, politics is local. I work in elections in liberal cities and liberal states. If you don't get the Democrats out, it will be the same leadership again and again and again. Now, people pose the argument, well, Cuomo was a lesser of two evils. You can't do that. That's like the same thing that people were saying about Larry Hogan. Larry Hogan's a huge rhino, but he's a lesser of two evils. It's better to vote for him than Asselbrooks. And guess what? Asselbrooks still ended up winning. So you guys can all vote for Andrew Cuomo, but Mondami's still going to win. Andrew Cuomo lost to him in the primary. I encourage my Jewish brothers and sisters to vote for the person that represents them. Do not vote for Mondami. You control a huge majority of the votes in this. Stop looking at who's Democrat and who's Republican and who's this and who's that. And stop over-calculating, overthinking. We Jews, we over-calculate all the time. But we are smart people. We are not ignorant. Don't be ignorant. And don't poo-poo the 1,000 rabbis that wrote a letter stating that Mondami is not good for New York City. Please, guys, please do the right thing. Make sure this Mondami does not get into the mayoralship. Because once you get these liberals in, these communist socialists in, we see you cannot get them out. And this guy may vote, or not vote, he may run for a higher office. He may be a congressman or senator one day. That's freaking scary. All these AOCs and Rashid Tlaibs are popping out of nowhere, and they're the minority trying to be the majority. Haven't you hashtag had enough? The voters have the power to change history here. President Trump said we will never have a socialist nation. Well, you will if you keep electing these socialists into government. And before we go on our break, don't forget my affiliate sponsor, FoleyMPX.com. Please go to FoleyMPX.com. Toxic heavy metals, full body detox. I'm in the process of losing weight. I have two big events. I have Thanksgiving coming up and I have New Year's. And I want to look good in my dresses because I'm getting custom made dresses. I'm using FoleyMPX because it's very, very important. It's very important that you take care of your body. When you take care of your body, your skin looks good, your hair looks good, you feel good. So go to FoleyMPX.com and look up the wonderful products that they have to offer. Coming after the break, we have a special guest. He was with us on the Pulse. It's our good friend, Chris Barnett. He's got a lot to talk about. He'll be with us right after the break. Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did. Well, hey guys, we have our wonderful guest, and I'm so sorry that I butchered his last name. It's because it was misspelled. His name is Chris Barnett, and he is running for Missouri State Representative, and we happen to have him as a special guest on an episode of The Pulse, which was awesome. Our friend Seth Eisenberg, the Conservative Corner, literally brought him to tears with his jokes, especially about Hakeem Jeffries and Katie Porter. But we are so happy to have him on my show. Let's bring him on. Hey, I think you're on mute.
I did. I muted myself. Oh my gosh.
That's okay. I'm so sorry I butchered your last name. You can butcher mine all right. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Throughout my entire life, everybody has pronounced Barrett as Barnett. You are not alone.
Well, thank you so much. So, the last time we talked, you talked a lot about what's going on in Missouri and in your race and in your district. So tell my audience a little bit more about your district and a little bit about your race.
Sure. District 21 in Missouri is in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Specifically, it's in it's in a suburb called Independence, Missouri. We like to make sure that everyone knows Independence, Missouri is where President Harry S. Truman was from. He spent pretty much most of his life here with his wife Bess. And Independence is a very close-knit community. A lot of the people that live here have lived here for multiple generations, myself included. My parents grew up here. My grandparents lived here. All that type of stuff. And even my mom knew Harry Truman. It's a very working class city. The District 21, which does largely cover Independence, is a very purple district. So I think the thing that I'm coming to realize is that, there's a lot of really great conservative values that even my liberal friends in this district are probably going to like. And I think that, unfortunately, Republicans haven't been very successful in this district for quite some time, even though it's purple. So it's really up for grabs. Um, I think part of it is they didn't talk to the other side a little bit, and I'm trying to do that, not compromise on my conservative values, but make sure that those folks really truly understand where I'm coming from, that sort of thing. And yeah, Missouri's got some really interesting stuff coming up in it, and we were talking about that earlier before the show started, and we can get into that whenever you want to. But it's kind of interesting that you were talking about Mamdani beforehand, because I think about the people in District 21 and even the liberals that live here. District 21 is a very hard-working district. I don't think that we would ever look to government to provide us dignity. We know how to create dignity on our own here in District 21.
Well, Chris, let me ask you, are you concerned that a Mondami would ever enter your district or enter the state of Missouri?
I could possibly see something like that in maybe St. Louis or Kansas City proper. And like I said, Independence is a suburb of Kansas City. Um, but outside of that, I doubt if that would be the case. Now, Kansas City's interesting for those who don't know. For a larger American city, we've had Republicans and Democrats. It goes back and forth, just kind of like New York City has done, like you were talking about. St. Louis is a totally different story, and that's where I would really see something like that actually emerge, as someone like Donnie actually emerging, because St. Louis has been under Democrat control for well over a century.
Mhm.
And as we know, St. Louis is a wonderfully safe city with, yeah, I'm just joking. So it's,
National Guard, National Guard.
right. Well, it's just kind of unfortunate because St. Louis actually is a great city. But there's a lot of leftist like pushes that happen in that city. But that's St. Louis. It's I mean, obviously all of Missouri would be a concern of mine if I'm elected, but specifically District 21 where I live, no, I really don't see someone like that being able to rise to power.
So, Chris, what are the two biggest issues that your voters or your future constituents have been talking about in your district?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about homelessness and definitely issues with property taxes as well. The property tax issue is more the realm of specifically Jackson County, Missouri, but there are things that the state can do in order to make sure that property taxes don't get out of control. And so I want to talk about the property taxes first. The property tax issue here, it has been insane. Jackson County is the county that Independence and District 21 are in. And we saw upwards of 300% increases in property taxes under a Democrat administration in Jackson
Mhm.
County. And unfortunately, they also don't seem to know where all the money went.
Of course not.
And yeah, and so we had a recall election on our county executive, and he did get voted out. A Democrat is currently in place, as an interim executive. But that the property tax thing is definitely a big thing that people have been talking about. The homelessness issue is another thing that people have been talking about, and that's kind of where I come at. So I come at that from maybe figuring out a way to make mental health care more affordable and accessible to people. And in the case of someone who's homeless, you know I'll steal from Mondani here. Yes, free in the sense that, the community will support that sort of thing. But let's do it in a way that isn't like a government takeover. There's
Mhm.
ways to encourage private businesses, not for profits and stuff like that, to come into the state of Missouri and actually, do that. So to expand mental health care. And maybe the state could provide grants to, provide some seed money in order to get that sort of thing done. But I know that walking around my city when I do encounter a homeless person, I do quite often take the time to stop and talk to them, find out exactly, a little bit about their story and how they got to where they are. And there's a lot of veterans who are in that situation. There's, a lot of people with mental health conditions as well that are in that situation. And I do truly believe that if we made that a viable alternative, not free housing, free food, all that type of stuff, let's turn these folks into actual productive members of society. That's what I'm talking about. Let's turn
Mhm.
them into that because it is possible. So let's do that sort of thing, and then we'll probably take care of our homeless problem to a great degree here and throughout the state of Missouri, frankly.
No, I'm glad that you said that because there are a lot of people with mental health issues and they need someone like you, to tell them, yeah, you have mental health issues, but that doesn't mean that you have to sit at home in your basement and not do anything. You can still do something with your life. And they need, someone like you to give them that leg up to make them feel good. I feel like what the Democrats do is they basically say, you got mental health problems, you're homeless, you're going to stay this way. But keep voting for me. Yeah, I'll help you out, but I really won't help you out. I mean, it's insane. It's incredibly insane. So stupid.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I do find it interesting that, when I look at more liberal cities across the country, housing is always one of the biggest things that they talk about. But when somebody is in a state of mental decline, you could probably give them free housing in the Vanderbilt mansion, and they might not take it because they're so mentally ill that they don't know what's best for them.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's why I'm saying it's like, let's take care of that before we're just giving away freebies that don't fix anything. And, unfortunately, I do think that Democrats like to do that. And,
Yep.
I mean, if I'm going to be, a little cynical here, it's because I think that they're just trying to buy votes.
No, you're 100% correct. And I see in a lot of Democrat areas that they push for Section 8 housing, mostly for illegals, mostly for, people that have been living off the government system for years. But like you said, when it comes to our homeless veterans, well, they need housing too. They need their VAs redone. They need VA hospitals redone. But they put the priority to all of the Section 8 housing in beautiful areas, which lowers the value of a person's home. It depreciates their home. So people that are living in a $600,000 house, now their house is like 400. It's worth $400,000 now. It's awful, and I
Absolutely.
wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Wholeheartedly agree with you. One thing I wanted to pivot with you is you brought up to me about abortion and sex changes that are happening in Missouri. Tell my audience about that and what's going on there.
Sure. Let me give your audience just a little bit of background on me.
Yeah,
So,
please.
yeah, I kind of came into the political arena through the work that I did combating radical LGBTQIA, whatever, the list goes on, activism. And um, I think that I was particularly effective at least bringing a attention to the issue because, by the way, guys, this is the least interesting thing about me, and it almost makes me want to vomit to even have to mention this. But I am a gay man. But, whoop de doo. Okay, whatever. But everybody thinks it's like super, super interesting that this gay man would be against all this, crazy LGBTQIA stuff. And it's like,
It's because
well,
you're normal.
yeah, as Vice President Vance said, I'm one of the normie gays. So, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to use this aspect of who I am, to bring attention to the fact that no, this stuff being pushed on children, especially because that's what I really focused on, the inappropriate books in schools, drag shows for kids, kids at pride events, all that type of stuff. And then I guess you could say the biggest thing that I weighed in on was the transgender issue, where children were being allowed to have sex changes. Now, of course, that's not what they call it in the medical field. They call it gender affirming care. Well, that's a nice little euphemism for what's really going on, and it is a sex change. Now, by their definition, a sex change doesn't necessarily require surgery. So, I mean, surgeries are fairly rare with minors, but there still are girls that have double mastectomies done, that sort of stuff, who are 13, 14, 15 years old in order to become boys, that sort of thing. But still, it's fairly rare, but they still pump these kids full of puberty blockers and hormones and that sort of stuff. And it's really disgusting what's going on there. So we need to put a stop to that. So in Missouri, we did pass something called the SAFE Act, not to be confused with the New York SAFE Act, which has to do with the Second Amendment or anything like that. But it prevented the child sex changes. Well, our the law that we created has a sunset clause, and that sunset clause is in 2027, and that largely happened as a compromise in order to get the original legislation passed through, because there was Democrat pushback against that legislation, because I guess, some Democrats, I'm not going to say all, because in fact I think most of them don't approve of it, but some Democrats in power think that child sex changes are okay, and that's disgusting.
Disgusting.
So, just a little bit after Missouri passed that ban, you see progress in one direction, but then the other thing that happened was a constitutional amendment came before the voters of the state of Missouri, and that was to legalize abortion.
Mm.
This particular amendment to the Missouri Constitution was a complete giveaway to Planned Parenthood and the rest of the abortion industry. And Missouri has
Wow.
some of the most wild and crazy abortion law in the state, in the United States. I mean, you can literally have an abortion up to birth. You can women, if something goes wrong during an abortion, specifically according to this constitutional amendment that is active in the state of Missouri right now, women cannot sue their providers.
Oh,
You have an abortion, you lose all rights to sue if something goes wrong. So it was a complete giveaway. And then on top of that, the thing that like really killed me about this, besides obviously murdering a bunch of innocent babies, but the secondary thing that really killed me was that they never bothered to mention the word woman in this in this constitutional amendment. It really is as bad as saying birthing person.
wow.
And somehow or other, Alexandra, that got passed in the state of Missouri
Wow. I'm
by
shocked.
a popular vote.
Wow. I'm very shocked by that. That is
Yes,
unbelievable.
yes. And anyway, so I think that part of the reason, and this is a little speculation on my part, but I think that part of the reason is because the one thing that maybe the pro-life crowd hasn't necessarily done such a good job on convincing people is life of the mother, rape, incest. Those are always the biggest things that I hear from the people in my area that they'll talk about. They'll be like, yeah, I'm pro-life, except I do want these few exceptions. And so I think it was sold as being that type of law. And of course, the average person is just like, oh, okay, that's what it's going to allow. They didn't realize what they were actually getting themselves into. So we do have a new constitutional amendment that was actually introduced by the Missouri legislature that is going to allow for those exceptions, but otherwise make abortion illegal.
Correct.
So I mean, even if you're an adamant 100% abolitionist on abortion, I think that you can at least agree that this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Well,
And then,
I was gonna make the point that the Democrats were upset and up in arms and that because like, well, wait a minute, that means that women that want to have an abortion, they got to like drive to another state. They can't have an abortion in Missouri anymore. But,
right.
but
Well, now they can do whatever,
well,
at least right
but
now.
now it's called close your legs, unless it's incest or rape.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But the other thing is since the various issues came up in this last session in the legislature, and we weren't able to get that extension or that made the sorry guys, I can't talk, make the ban on child sex changes permanent. We didn't get that done in the last
Do you think
session of the.
do you think you'll be able to get that done?
Well, this is the thing. So they're attaching that to the new abortion amendment that's going to come up next year. So it's going to be voting for abortion with certain an abortion ban, but certain exceptions are going to be in there. And I think that those are the exceptions that are most important to Missourians, keeping those in place. And then it will permanently ban child sex changes as well. So definitely voting for Amendment 3 November of next year, which is also the same time of my election, will definitely be very important, moving Missouri back into the right direction again, because a little bit has kind of gone off the rails.
No, that's good. That's very informative stuff. We just have about a minute left, Chris. How can my viewers find you and how can they donate to your campaign?
Yes, donations are super important, guys. So right there at the bottom, you can see it says www.barrettformo.com. That is a great way to do it. Running a campaign is extremely expensive, even just a state level campaign like this. And so anyone, if you can, chip in $5, $10, I don't care. It's great. One thing that would be really helpful and allow me to plan a little bit better is if you can also sign up for recurring donations. That said, Barrett Formo also has some information about me. You can also find me on X under @Barrett Formo, and then I have a completely public account on Facebook. Just search for Chris Barrett, and Chris Barrett, Missouri, I think always returns me.
Well, thank you so much. You were so informative, and I loved having you on. And I hope that you come back on the Pulse as well, because that was a lot of fun when you were on there.
Yes, it was. It was a ton of fun, and I loved laughing that hard.
It was so funny. That's Seth for you. But
Right?
please, guys, I mean, politics is local. Like, as I said earlier in my monologue, people are willing to, God forbid, put that socialist in as the mayor of New York City. Like, we can't have it. And politics is local. Let's get Republicans, good Republicans. Doesn't matter what you are. Let's put the right common sense conservatives, right common sense Republicans in local office, because that's where it starts. If you put these socialist Democrats in local politics, they indoctrinate your children, they hurt the city, they make the city go broke. I see that in Baltimore City and Maryland all the time with the DEI hire, Mayor Brandon Scott. We have to put real people and people with common sense in power. And, best of luck to you. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. I really appreciate it.
Oh, of course.
And
And
I hope to definitely be back on.
oh, definitely. And before we leave, I just want to let everybody know of our affiliate sponsor, rncstore.com/ALL. We'll put that up, RNC Store. There we go, rncstore.com/ALL, Richardson Nutritional Center. He will be with us live on November 6th at around the same time, 8:20. You don't want to miss him. He's going to tell you all the newest and greatest things that he has been doing. He's been traveling all over the country and all over the world. So please, guys, use the discount code ALL. You get 10% off. off. And as you know, Thanksgiving's coming up and Christmas is coming up. Because I know for Halloween, I love Halloween candy. Even though I'm on a serious diet, I'll probably be eating like the most disgusting, sugar-free, gluten-free, diet-friendly Halloween candy. But for those of you who are going to indulge in Halloween candy and you want to get back in that figure, get back in that shape, I advise you after Halloween to go on rncstore.com/ALL, get the nutritional benefits, get the pills, get the supplements that are on this website. You will lose weight. It'll help your metabolism. It'll help your immunity. It helps combat a lot of things. If you have irregular periods, it helps regulate your period, helps prevent against cancer. That is one of John Richardson's main things, that it does prevent against cancer, especially if you have stage 4 cancer. It actually helps people with stage 4 cancer. So please, guys, go to rncstore.com/ALL, put in ALL, get the discount code, get your 10%, and you'll love your body. You'll love your body after that. We'll be back right after the break. We'll be talking more about elections happening in a city near you. We'll be right back.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Well, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. I think my mic is muted, though. Is my mic muted? Oh, there we go. Now my mic's not muted anymore. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Alexandra Levine, live with the America's Pulse Network. And yes, I am the White House correspondent for this network, which means I get full access to the White House briefing room with Caroline Leavitt and full access to the State Department, the DOJ, the Pentagon, all the main buildings. And I stand with Pete Hegseth. We don't want reporters going in there and just reporting their own opinions and bias. I am there as a true reporter, someone that will report on the facts, someone that supports President Trump and honors him and supports and honors his policies. So as we were talking about with my previous guest, with my guest that we just had, we were talking about Mandami, we were talking about elections coming up. As you know, Chris is running for state representative in Missouri, but we have a bunch of Democrat socialists that could possibly be mayors in government. I mean, this is disgusting. Let's put up the first slide. So Ireland had an election, and this crazy, ugly-looking woman, left-wing lunatic, Catherine Connolly, is she's the president of Ireland now. She's a pro-immigration, self-avowed socialist running as an independent. That's how she got in. Won Ireland's 2025 presidential election in a landslide. This was last Friday, defeating both of the nominees of the country's two largest parties. And it's funny, Rosie O'Donnell, she became a legal citizen of Ireland because she is a socialist herself, a communist. But my God, I mean, how could Ireland do this? There's going to be a lot of Jews in Ireland. Now the Jews that still live in Ireland got to leave. Dublin used to be a gorgeous city. I mean, how could the people of Ireland do this? Did they not know who they were voting for? Or because she became an independent, it threw you guys all off? I mean, now Ireland is going to be a socialist nation. I feel so bad for the people of Ireland. If I was in Ireland right now, I'd leave. I mean, you don't want to live under this. This is awful. Totally, totally awful. But on the flip side, we have a guy who talks about making Argentina great again. We love him. He got reelected. Let's put up the next slide. Yeah. And President Trump put up a nice retruth about him. He's like, President Trump and him are very close. Congratulations to President Javier Milei on his landslide victory in Argentina. He's doing a wonderful job. Our confidence in him was justified by the people of Argentina. He won with like 41% of the vote. So look at the contrast between Dublin and South America. In Argentina, you have a president that loves the people, that puts the people first, that talks about making Argentina great again, and has been doing a phenomenal job. And he supports President Trump. He's spoken here in America at CPACs. And he loves President Trump, and he's spoken at Trump's rallies. It's just interesting. So if I were you and I lived in Ireland, I would move to Argentina right away. I would just go from Ireland to Argentina, stay there, live there. If you're Jewish, stay in Argentina. There's a lot of Jews in Buenos Aires. That's where you all should be, because the Jews in Ireland, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer, just like the Jews in New York City will suffer if Mondami becomes the next mayor. That's why I said in my first segment, I'll repeat it again. There's a huge majority of Jews, millions of Jews that live in New York City. 1,000 rabbis wrote that Mondami does not represent the Jewish people of New York City. So I have a message to the secular Jews to stop acting friggin' secular. You just repented for your sins. You voted for him in the primary. You committed the sin. We repented for our sins October 2nd. Why are you repeating the sin again by voting for him in the general? Hashem would not be happy with you. And it's because you're secular and you don't have religion in your life. You don't go to synagogue, call yourselves atheists. There's like this group, Jews for Mondami. I mean, do you even know what organization you're getting involved with? It's probably Soros funded. All these little organizations are Soros funded. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But there's a huge hub of Jews in New York City. You guys are smart. You don't need to vote Democrat every time. And you don't need to vote for a guy that is going to make you feel guilty for not being Muslim and not celebrating or not promoting Sharia law and working and doing Sharia law and not being a jihadist. He made Andrew Cuomo guilty for not walking into a mosque. He said, you are not qualified as a mayor because you didn't walk into a mosque and you were governor. Andrew Cuomo was a governor, and he's done a lot for the Islamic community. I've seen him hang out in imams in Islamic communities. You don't have to go to a mosque to prove that you're the mayor, to prove that you can be a great mayor for the people. What Zohran was saying in that moment is that New York City is a home for Islamic people, Islamic extremists, jihadists, and people that believe in Sharia law. Forget the Jews. It wasn't until a couple weeks ago that Mondami decided to hang with religious Orthodox people during Sukkot. It wasn't until a couple weeks ago where Mondami was like, "Oh, no, I believe in loving the police. I don't believe in defunding them." Even though he talked about defunding the police for years, and even attacked Thomas Homan for getting rid of illegals out of New York City. There's viral videos about this moron. So Jewish people need to open up their minds. Christian people need to open up their eyes and their ears, and go back and listen to the tapes that this guy said about Christians, about Jews. Now he wants to take New York City and make it an Islamist regime. As a Jew, I could never go back to New York City under him. There's an event that I'm supposed to go to November 9th in New York City, and like my friends are debating about going or not, because right after the election, we're definitely not staying in Manhattan. I can tell you that. We're going to stay in New Jersey because we know Jack Ciattarelli is going to win. We'll feel safer. Even though he won't technically be in power until January, we'll feel safer because we'll feel the transition of power as the governor-elect. But it's disgusting. It's disgusting what's going on. It's disgusting that we're dealing with this right now. And then we have two big races coming up in New Jersey and Virginia, gubernatorial races, lieutenant governor races, attorney general races. Let's put up the slide there. So President Trump said, why would anyone vote for New Jersey and Virginia gubernatorial candidates, Mickey Sherrill, which sounds like a man anyway, and Abigail Spamberger, I called her Spermberger, when they want transgender for everybody. Men playing in women's sports, high crime, and the most expensive energy prices almost anywhere in the world. Vote Republican for massive energy cost reductions, large-scale tax cuts, and basic common sense. Under President Trump, gasoline will come down to approximately $2 a gallon very soon. With the Democrats, you'll be paying $4, $5, and $6 a gallon. And your electric and other energy costs will likewise soar, which is true because the Democrats are all about the damn solar panels, and they get gas from other states. Like Maryland gets their gasoline from Pennsylvania because the damn governor has bankrupted the state. So there's no money for energy and low gasoline costs in Maryland. The only reason why gasoline is down is because of Donald J. Trump, not because of Governor Westmore and all these liberal governors out there. Vote Republican for a great and very affordable life. All you'll get from voting Democrat is unrelentingly high crime, which is true, energy prices through the roof, men playing in women's sports, and a heartache. And he's totally 100% correct. Abigail Spanberger has done absolutely nothing when she was a congresswoman. She actually cheated to become a congresswoman. And Mickey Sherrill, I mean, who the hell is she? I never even heard about her until recently. I mean, these women are dumb and they look like men. And they don't give a crap about your state. So do yourselves a favor and vote for the right person. Vote for Winsome Sears in Virginia and vote for Jack Ciattarelli in New Jersey. I told you, I'm supposed to go to an event in New York November 9th. I'm not staying in Manhattan. I'm not staying in New York. I will stay in New Jersey because I know Jack Ciattarelli will be the governor. Patrick Murphy has taken the state of New Jersey to shit, to crap. He wasn't even reelected the last time. He cheated to get reelected. I saw the votes. I was like, oh my God, this Ciattarelli guy is actually going to beat Patrick Murphy. He was whipping his butt in Bergen County. I saw it in the middle of the night. And then what happened? 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, mail-in ballots came in and flipped Bergen County back to Patrick Murphy. That's why it has to be too big to rig. That's why everybody in New Jersey and Virginia has to do early voting. Republicans and independents need to come out. And Democrats are now coming out in favor of Jack Ciattarelli. Democrats are coming out in favor of Winsome Sears and John Reed, who's running for lieutenant governor. And now Jason Mejedis has a 7-point ahead lead. He's the incumbent attorney general ahead of the crazy lunatic Jay Jones, who wrote text messages threatening a Republican legislator and his wife and children, saying, I want them dead. And it was President Trump's endorsement of Jason Mejedis why the numbers are flipping Mejedis's way and why Winsome Sears is doing better in the polls. But Winsome Sears is still a couple points behind. You have to help her. You have to elevate her up. We have to get Democrats to hashtag Jexit the party and vote Republican. I want Democrat Jews to vote for Jack Ciattarelli. I want Democrat Jews to vote for Winsome Sears. I want Democrat Jews to vote for the Republican in New York City. I know a lot of Democrat Jews that want to vote for Cuomo. Just anybody but Mandami. Because when you vote for Mandami, you're voting for socialism and communism. And then we have issues in Minnesota. This freaking guy from Somalia, who I don't even think is a legitimate United States citizen. He reminds me of Ilhan Omar. He may be the mayor of Minnesota. He was put in by Keith Ellison. Keith Ellison is a part of the Nation of Islam, and Louis Farrakhan, who runs the Nation of Islam, 2 anti-Semites. And of course, Ilhan Omar endorses him and loves him. But this guy could be the mayor of Minnesota, a Democrat socialist who hates Jews, who hates Christians. I think his name is Nahra or something. I don't even know his name. Comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, maybe the next mayor of Minnesota. And then you have this liberal crazy, I think her name is, it's not Porter, I can't remember if her first name is Katie or not. I got to look it up. And I should have had it in front of me. I know I had an image of her. I know I took up an image picture of her. But Fox News talked about it today. This freaking woman who's running for mayor of Seattle. She believes in free healthcare. She believes in Section 8 housing all over the city of Seattle, Washington. And she actually may win. She actually may be the next mayor. She's crazy. These socialists, they creep in and you can't get them out. And they don't support the average American's values, and they are the minority. It's really disgusting, guys, that these people are inches away from holding positions of power by being in your government. How can you allow this? How can anyone allow this? It should not be allowed. Do yourself a favor and do your real research, due diligence, and don't vote for these morons. Nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is free. There's no such thing as free bus and free healthcare and a free car ride and free food. There's no such thing as that. Even homeless people have to pay to get a free meal. Nothing is free. The only thing that's free is love, air, wind, fire. That's free. The sky is free. Loving your Lord and Savior is free. The necessities are not free. Owning a car is not free. Owning a house is not free. Having children is not free. Everything costs. And when you rely on the government and then you rely on taxpayers to take care of you, that's being dependent on government. And you don't want to be dependent on the government. The point is you get out of these hardships, you get out of your bad situation, and you make a better life for yourself and for your children. And your children live the American dream and they succeed in life. They succeed their parents. That's what parents want. I have friends that have come to this country and they made a life for themselves and for their children, and their children succeeded them. That is the American dream. That's what Marco Rubio talks about all the time. So please, guys, do the right thing this November 5th or November 4th cycle. Get out there, vote, and vote the right way. Vote for the person that represents you, not what TikTok tells you to do. Not everybody's in the same situation, in the same boat. And that's the point. We don't all want to be in the same situation and in the same boat. We dealt with that with Joe Biden in office. Enough is enough. And now in other news, celebrity news, as you know, I always talk about celebrities. Katy Perry had her first outing with her new boo, former Prime Minister of Canada, Jessica Trudeau. Let's put up the slide. So Terrence Williams, we love him. He said music artist Katy Perry is now dating Justin Trudeau, and some of her fans are now calling on her to run for president. So Trudeau could become America's, quote, first gentleman. Supporters say they hope he would help make America more like Canada. Are these people crazy? Canada was a shit show under him. A shit show. That's why he had to step down, because Trump called his bluff. Taxing Americans, tariffing us. And the guy that he got to replace him is an even bigger a-hole. Supports a Palestinian state. Said that if Netanyahu came to Canada, he would try to arrest him. Carney. I mean, these people are crazy. But my question to you is, do you really care who Katy Perry is dating? I mean, this guy's a total rebound. She was with Orlando Bloom for 10 years, had a child with him. And we already saw her making out with Trudeau on her yacht, and he goes to some of her concerts. I mean, he looks like a woman. I mean, I seriously thought he was gay. A lot of people did. A lot of people were like, isn't he gay? Like, he has a higher pitched voice than most gay men out there. And remember how his eyebrows have to be glued on because he doesn't have real eyebrows? That's kind of gay. And remember, he wore like weird socks, like multicolored socks to the White House. And President Trump commented on it, not in a good way. He dresses like a flamer. So this is perfect for Katy Perry, who I think is a little bisexual anyway. I mean, she basically sang the song, I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. So there it is. She kissed this girl, Jessica Trudeau, and she liked it. But again, who gives a crap about these celebrity relationships? Like, they had this whole thing. J-Lo's like, you know, she's been married, I don't know, 4 times, engaged like 6. She's like, I never really found love with anybody I was married to. Then why the hell did you marry them? You little slut. I mean, she's a slut. She's a whore. I don't care how many albums she's created. What has Katy Perry and J-Lo done for society except endorsed Kamala Harris and Joe Biden? And all their speeches were like written out for them. Nothing came from the heart. And they were paid. J-Lo was paid millions of dollars to speak at a Kamala Harris rally. She wouldn't come on if she wasn't paid millions of dollars. Same thing with Katy Perry. They're looking into the campaign finance reports, and they've proven that Kamala Harris did a lot of illegal activity by paying off these artists to come speak and sing. Like Beyonce, who was supposed to come out with an endorsement, never did. All Kamala Harris did is use one of her songs, and Kamala Harris paid her off her royalty because she used her song at a rally of hers. Oprah Winfrey was paid millions of dollars. I mean, this is crazy. You have to pay these speakers to come. Anyone who speaks on behalf of President Trump doesn't get paid. They do it out of the kindness of their heart because they really love President Trump. But what I got from that damn picture is that Katy Perry, who has a lot of money, needed to wear a bra or get a boob job. I mean, she's got the money to do it. You can tell that she like breastfed her child till the child was probably 2 years old, and that's why her boobs are so damn saggy. Wear a bra, sweetheart. Wear some Spanx. Get a boob job. Get liposuction, something, because you look a mess. And Mr. Trudeau, have fun with your little cupcake over there. Because I know that you're just with her because she's a big pop star and it looks good, and she's just getting you out of the house. Because the bottom line is you're a loser, you have no life, you left Canada a mess, you're happy that you left Canada a mess, you got owned by President Trump, and you're an embarrassment to Canadians. And you're an embarrassment, period. If anybody thinks that this is an upgrade from Orlando Bloom, this is a downgrade. Orlando Bloom was a much better man than Trudeau. And remember, Orlando Bloom wasn't the political one. Katy Perry claimed that she is like an astronaut now, went up to space and all this crap. But she's a liberal, left-wing lunatic. And everybody knows it. And she can sing whatever she wants. There was actually a video of her at her concert. She had like fake cans or canisters, like soda cans, on her body, on her boobs. And it shows her like dumping the canister of soda in a cup. It looked like she was breastfeeding. It was like ridiculous. And then they said there was something wrong with her eye. Well, yeah, because she took like 50 vaccines. So of course there's something wrong with her eye. All these artists that took the vaccines, they're not going to be able to sing soon. They won't be able to breathe. All these singers and actresses and actors are getting like side effects now from the vaccine. Yeah, it shows up 5-10 years later. That's what Dr. Malone proved, Dr. Peter McCullough, and many famous doctors had said, yeah, you put our mRNA in your body, yeah, it's going to show up years later and you'll probably die. So all these idiots that were preaching, you know, if you don't take the vaccine, you're not going to be able to perform ever again. Well, you killed your performers. Your performers can't perform the same. I'm telling you, Katy Perry does not have the same stamina that she did before she took the vaccine. I can guarantee you that. But the fact that this is even news, her new relationship with Justin Trudeau, who cares? I can just imagine the next outfit she's going to wear when she's out with him. But again, my fashion advice and sense is, sweetheart, wear a bra or get a boob job. One of the two. Because it was a hot mess with what she wore the other night. And he looked like a disheveled mess. I mean, that suit looks so old. I mean, for someone who was a prime minister, I'm sure he's got some money, or maybe his wife took him to the cleaners, and he can afford a custom-made suit because he looked disgusting and his clothes didn't even match, and they look dirty too. So before we leave for the night, as you know, we are still in candidate mode, political season. As you know, I work for and advertise always for my good friend Tim Fazenbaker, who is running for Baltimore County Council District 9. Let's put him up there. There you go. Go to timfazenbaker.com. That's timfazenbaker.com, guys. Donations are coming in left and right. He is the only man that's going to win this seat. He's the only man that can win this seat because they're trying to put up a rhino up against him, a guy that likes Pete Buttigieg for president, a guy that actually shook hands with Chris Van Hollen, who recently endorsed Mondami for New York City mayor. And this rhino isn't even really a Republican. He's really a Democrat. He shakes the hands of Democrats, hangs out with Westmore, is very anti-Trump. And Tim is running in a very America First MAGA district. And also, Tim Fazenbaker is very good friends with Rob Carson, who loves him, compared him to J.D. Vance, thinks he's awesome, says he's the young, up-and-coming conservative, not just in Maryland, but nationwide. So I think that's awesome. And Rob Carson is a big name on Newsmax, and he's got a great show. Every single day, 3 hours a day. And we love Rob Carson. He's a good friend of the network and a good friend of Tim's and a good friend of mine. So please, guys, go to timfazenbaker.com. That's timfazenbaker.com. Make a donation today. And don't forget, my Assemblywomen people, love them. Constance Dissel and Nilsa Gonzalez. They're running in a very hardcore Democrat district, but they're getting major support by Jack Ciattarelli, the person running for Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General. And they have been all over the place, and they will be at an event I think this Thursday, actually, with Jack Ciattarelli. They will be speaking. They will be featured. They will be out there. And they're campaigning wherever Jack is campaigning. He's coming to Camden County, which is a very Democrat county. And there will be pictures taken. Hopefully someone from our network will cover it. If not, we will keep you abreast on that event. But that's going to be a big event in Camden County with Jack Ciattarelli and Ditzel and Gonzalez and many others. So please, guys, go to Facebook, Ditzel and Gonzalez for State Assembly. Go to their Instagram, Ditzel and Gonzalez, and don't forget to follow them on X at Connie, the number 4NJ. And don't forget to go on their website and give a donation because, as Chris said, it is not cheap to run for an office. It doesn't matter what office it is, but we have to elect the right people, and we have to make New Jersey red again. And of course, don't forget our friend Seth, who's a part of the Conservative Corner. Seth has a GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe.com/health/donor/Eisenberg/overcome/health/crisis. As you know, Seth almost lost his foot a few months ago. We've raised over $6,600 for him. The goal is $10,000. The ultimate goal is $100K. And he was in the hospital again recently for his foot. His foot got another infection. So we need to save his foot. We need him up and running. We need him to be safe. And also, he needs to pay his bills. And he's got a son that he takes care of and supports and loves. So please, guys, he's a veteran. He served our Navy. It's time to get back to our military and time to get back to our veterans. So please go to GoFundMe.com/Jonah/Eisenberg/overcome/health/crisis and make a donation today. And also, guys, don't forget our November 4th event video. Damon shared. Let's play the video.
Righteous pride in this one big voice, it's our time. Generation fighters take the stand. From shore to shore we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore we make our stand.
And there you go, guys. The Jersey Shore with Damon Galdo and Seth Eisenberg will be there in New Jersey. They'll be hosting a live election night results. So you will get it in real time. That is going to be a big night for social media, but it'll be a big night for our network. So please, guys, follow us, like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe on America's Pulse Network on all of our major media platforms. That's TikTok, that's Truth Social, that's Rumble, that's Instagram, that's Parler. That's X. We're like on 6 platforms already. It's amazing how our network has grown. Every single week we get better and better. And of course, guys, don't forget you can always follow me, Alexandra Levine, on Facebook, Alexandra Levine 20 on X, at Air Levine 85 on Truth Social, on TikTok now, on Parler, on Rumble, and on Instagram. And we appreciate everybody being on. We appreciate Donald Willinger and everyone else who commented tonight. Thank you so much. We hope we got to everybody. Thank you again to our special guest. And again, guys, the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.